Hi, I'm Tawila and I've been lashing for 3 years. This channel is dedicated to all things lashes and beauty, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. In today's video, we're going to be showing you how to fill super outgrown mega volume lashes. For my isolating tweezers, I'm going to be using Curvy Babe. For my fanning, I'm going to be using Rainbow Baby Jr. The lashes I'm going to be using today are Cloud 9.03 Mega Volume. And the glue I'm using today is going to be Magnetic Vibe. My client here is already taped up. We didn't use the iPads today because she is a little bit sensitive, so we just went in with the sensitive blue tape. So if you don't see iPads, that's why. All right, so now that she's taped, we're going to go in with the Prep Me Up primer. All right, so now I have my primer on my wand, and I'm just going to go in and turn on my fan. I always like to fan my clients just because sometimes the primer can cause a little bit of sensitivity, and it helps speed up the dry time too, so you can get straight into lashing. And go ahead and do both eyes. The primer starts us with a nice clean base, and it gets rid of any excess makeup or residue that she might have on her lashes from the night before or in the morning. It just guarantees that you're going to start with a nice, clean, fresh base. All right, and then now I'm going to go in with a spoolie, and I'm going to just brush her out so I can kind of see her shape. All right, and now that she's all prepped and brushed, I'm going to go in with my tweezers, and I'm just going to look for any outgrown lashes. It's super important for the first 5 minutes of any fill to make sure to go in and look for any outgrown lashes, just because if you leave an outgrown lash on there, it can cause breakage. Okay, now I have this lash isolated, so you can see that her natural lash is exposed. I normally like to remove any lash that I see the natural lash exposed, just so that she can go a little bit longer in between her fills, because if you do leave that one that might be on the edge, in 5 days from now, it'll be dangling in her face and it's gonna bother her. So I always just like to remove whatever. When in doubt, just remove it and replace. Normally you can use the banana peel method and you can just grab the tips of both lashes, but sometimes if the tips are super outgrown, it's easier to kind of do like a reverse banana peel. So I'm gonna show you on this lash. So you can see her extension's grown out. So I'm still gonna isolate, and I'm gonna grab the extension with my tweezers, and I'm still gonna grab her natural lash with my other tweezers, and I'm just gonna pull them apart and see that lash just came right off. So now I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna finish removing her outgrown ones before we start her fill. During the little 5-minute cleanup before you start the fill, you're expected to remove about 5 to 10 lashes. It's not like you're going in and doing a complete removal. You're just wanting to get rid of those super outgrown ones so it's not causing further damage before her next fill. So now I'm just gonna go through and remove the rest of her outgrown ones that she needs before we go into her fill. As I showed you before, this would be an eyelash that would be perfect to do a little banana peel on, just because you can see her natural eyelashes exposed and you can see it's kind of dangling. I like to always explain to my clients because they don't understand what we're doing in the first 5 minutes. So I always explain that an outgrown lash is kind of similar to when you hold your arm out with a pole. So your arm's going to be hanging downward, and that's the same thing your lash does with the heavy lash extension on it. If it has that little bit of room to hang, and that's what causes it to snap and break. So that's why that would be a good candidate right there to remove. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you one that is nice and able to stay on until her next fill. And you can see that this one, there is no natural eyelash exposed, and it's still pretty close to her lid. And it's still nice and pretty. It's not twisting and turning on her, so that one would be a good one to keep on. So now that we've removed all her outgrown ones, we're just going to brush her out so we can check out her shape. And for this fill today, we're just gonna follow her shape that she had with her previous fill. She doesn't wanna make any changes today. If you can't eyeball her length, you can go ahead and grab some lashes from your tray and make a fan and go ahead and lay them next to her lashes so you can match them as best as you can. It's super important to try to match them just because those little millimeter differences do make a difference. Today, her lashes, we're gonna be filling her with the longest length being 14 millimeters, and she likes the length across look. So we're kind of just going to fill her in. We're going to have shorter in the inner corners, and we're going to kind of do a 14th length across. So I can see her right side on her inner corner. She lost a little bit more from her last fill, so I'm just going to go ahead and try to match that one up first. I kind of like to equal out the eyes just because if there's an emergency or anything like that and they need to get up and leave out of your chair, I like having them to have equal eyes as much as they can, just so they're not walking around with lopsided eyes. All right, so now I'm just gonna make a fan, and I'm using the pinch method today. All right, so now my fan is made, and I'm gonna go ahead and isolate. And now we have that natural lash, so I'm going to dip in my glue dot, and then I'm gonna go ahead and place And then I leave it there for about 2 seconds just to let the glue set. And then I'll go on to my next lash. So you're gonna go ahead and continue to isolate, pinch, and make a fan, or make a fan however you do, and then dip in your glue, and then go ahead and place, and you're gonna do that for the remainder of the service until she's filled, however long your fills take. Typically my Mega Fill takes about an hour and a half, but I have been lashing for about 3 years. When I first started out, my Mega Fills were like 2.5 hours. So if they take you a little bit longer, don't feel discouraged. Quickness comes with time. And you want quality over quickness. Mega Fills usually take a little bit longer just because you're making those larger fans, so it's super important to try to make sure that you're making those bases extremely tight. And then also clients, when they're booking a Mega Fill, they want to be as dense as possible. So it just takes a little bit longer to make sure that you're getting every single eyelash. All right, so now I'm just brushing out her lashes, and you can see now all her little gaps are gone. And I'm just gonna go in with my little mirror and make sure she has no stickies. I just like to gently pull up on her lid, Double check, and she's all good. All right, now I see there's no sticky, so I'm just gonna go in with my mister and I'm gonna do a quick nano mist just to kind of help cure the glue, and then I'm gonna go in and fan her. All right, so I'm just gonna mist her, just a little 5 seconds. Another option to bond the glue would be using our Climax bonder. All right, now I'm just gonna fan her and dry her lashes. And then I always like to go in and remove the tape while I'm fanning, just in case her eyes are a little bit watery. It kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. It still dries her lashes. All right, and now I'm just gonna have her open. I'm just gonna have her check them out, make sure nothing's sticking or poking. All right, go ahead and open. Everything feel okay? Nothing sticking or poking? All right, perfect. All right, and now we are all set. She has her outgrown lashes all gone, and we have her Mega Fill all nice and fluffy again. Just remember, when you're going in for your fills, whether it's mixed, classic, whichever one it is, just to make sure to spend that extra little bit of time just to get those outgrown ones removed, because it does make all the difference. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it brought a ton of value to you. Question for you, do you normally remove your outgrown lashes before starting your fill services? Leave your answer in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.